Here we go. Now, again, the factoring. All right, really, really important. Now, today is supposed to be a little bit harder because the leading coefficient is not a 1. All right, so everything will be 2 or 3 or 4. The larger the number, or I should say the more factors there are in the leading coefficient, the harder it is. All right, so what I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you now to blow up on number 2. All right? And what I want you to do is I want you to try to remember that every single time you're going to have 2 sets of parentheses. So that's the first thing you're doing, is writing down 2 sets of parentheses. All right, now what's the only way I can make 2x squared? 2 times 1 or 2x times x. So the next thing we're doing is we're writing down 2x and x. All right, now what are the only factors of 3? 1 and 3. Now, I'm going to place the 3 here, and I'm going to place the 1 here. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how that might be correct. All right, again, the smiley face. How much is this, guys? 3x. How much is this? 2x. So 3x and 2x can make 5x if they are both what? If they're both positive. That's how hard it is, just like that. All right. Now again, the middle term is always the hardest. So that's why I tell my kids, please listen to what I'm saying. Smiley face. These two are being multiplied. These two are being multiplied. And when you multiply those two, that creates this right here. All right. Now we're going on to number 5. All right, so with number 5, again, I'm trying to get 2y squared. So to get 2y squared, what involved, or what goes in my 2 sets of parentheses? 2y and y. Now, what are my only factors of 5? Now, I'm going to put it in the wrong spot right now, all right, just to show you. All right, it doesn't always work out easily. All right, so I'm going to put the 5 here, and I'm going to put the 1 here. Now I do the smiley face. How much is that? And how much is this? Is there any way to make 9 with 5 and 2? No, so it can't go that way. All right, so now I'm going to erase the 5 and erase the 1, and I'm going to put the 5 over here, and I'm going to put the 1 over here. And when I do that, now let's look at the smiley face. How much is this? 1y, and how much is this? 10y. Well, how can I make negative 9 with 1 and 10? With a plus 1 and a minus 10, right? Or the 5 in this case would have to be the negative, and the 1 would have to be the positive. All right, so again, we can double check that just to show you. This right here is positive 1. This is negative 10. That makes the what? Negative 9. All right? So there's 2 done. All right, now let's look at number 8. What are the only factors of 3c squared? 3c and c. Now, what about the factors of 6? I always tell kids 2 and 3, start with the middle terms. All right? So now I want to show you something. Stop and look up right now because I'm going to show you how you can cut your time in half if you listen to this one little trick. If I'm using 2 and 3, 3 cannot go there. The reason why 3 is not possible is because there would be a common factor with those 2 numbers. Those 2 numbers will never have a common factor. Is everybody hearing me? So I know 3 can't go there. All right? So that means, where am I going to put the 3? On the next one. We're going to call that the right side, and we're going to put what? 2 on the left side. Does everybody agree with that? Now let's do the smiley face. How much is this? And how much is this? 9c. Is it possible to make 17 with 2 and 9? No. So it's not 2 and 3. We're going to have to check instead of 2 and 3. What else? 6 and 1. Can the 6 go on the left side? No. 6 cannot go on the left side because it has a common factor with 3. So I need to put 6 where? On the right side. If I put 6 on the right side, I would put 1 on the left side. All right? Now, when you do that, this right here becomes what? And this becomes what? 1. How do I make negative 17 with 18 and 1? If the 18 is negative, if the 18 is negative and the 1 is positive. So, negative, positive. Is everybody with me? All right, you got a lot to do tonight, so come on, let's keep going. All right, next. What are the only factors of 3x squared?
1.
Yep, very good. 3x and x. Always start with the middle factors. What are the middle factors of 8? 2 and 4. So where do I want to put the 4 and the 2? I'm going to do it wrong first because I can show you. I want everybody to put a star by this one. This is the one that's generally on standardized tests because there's 2 ways to get the answer. All right, I'm going to do it wrong first. So I'm going to put the 4 here and the 2 here. How much is this? How much is this? Can I make negative 10 with 12 and 2?
Yes.
Yes, you can if you go negative 4 and positive 2. Because that makes what? 2x, negative 12x makes the what? Negative 10x. But why is that incorrect?
Because 2 times negative 4 is not.
Exactly. Come on, be smart. Everybody look up. Make sure you heard him. Because 2 times negative 4 would be what? Negative 8. And that right there is what? Positive. Everybody okay with that? So now instead of it being 2 and 4, I'm going to switch the 2 and the 4. So now watch what happens. I'm going to put the 2, I'm going to put the 2 on here and the 4 here. Now notice what happens. How much is this? 4x, and this is what? And that can be what? Negative 10 if they're both what? If they're both negative. Thank you very much. So that would be negative and negative. Everybody good with that? Yes, ma'am.
Why can't it just be positive?
Because then that would give you a positive 10x, not a negative 10x. You hear me on that? All right, here we go. Number 14. How am I handling 14? What's the only way to make 3x squared?
3x.
Yes, sir. Thank you. 3x and x. What are the only factors of 2?
2.
2 and 1. Where do I want the 2 to go? On the right or the left? The right. Now, some of you are getting good because you know I'm having to multiply those together. So in your head, you can start to visualize where to put the numbers. Then this would be a what here? A 1. And now that how much is 1x, right? The other one is 6x. Together it makes 7x if they're both what?
Positive.
If they're both positive. Go. I can't hear you.
Why do you have to put the 2 on the right side?
Because I'm trying to make 7. So if I multiply 3x and times 2, I get 6x. 1 times x is 1x. 6x plus 1x is 7x, which is this middle term right here. You hear me? All right, let's go. Again, what's the only way I can make 2x squared?
2x and 2.
2x and x. What are the middle factors of 4? 2 and 2. Is it possible that it's 2 and 2? No, because there would be no place to put a factor here. Because if I put 2 there, we'll have a common factor, and I said it can't be there. So I know right off the bat it's not 2 and 2. It must be what?
4 and 1.
Now, where does the 4 have to go? On the other side. So the 4 has to go here, and the 1 has to go there. So this is how much right here? And this is, which makes, if they are both positive. That's how you do that. That's not that hard. It's not that hard. Takes practice. Kids don't like it because it's guessing and checking. You have to be able to add, subtract, and multiply, and try to get combinations of numbers. All right, so here we go. How am I going to handle 4x squared? I always say start with the middle factors. So we're going to start with the middle factors. Instead of 4x and x, we're going to go. Now, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just simply saying from experience, generally it's the middle ones. All right, so here we go. 2x and 2x. Now, factors of 15. So I'm going to put 3 down and 5 down and see what I get. How much is this? And that's what? Is there any way to make 17? No. So now instead of 3 and 5, I could actually do what? 15 and 1. We're going to try 15 and 1. But does 15 and 1 make sense? Because 15 times 2 is too big. Right? So now she's correct. We should have done what? We should have done 4x and x. That's another reason why I like the iPad, because it's easy to correct. 4x and 1x. Now I'm trying to put 3 and 5 down. All right? This one's a tough one. What would it be? Let's see if he's right. Negative 3 plus 5. So, how much is this? How much is that? 20 minus 3 is the what? And then, just to double check myself, negative 3 times positive 5, is that negative 15? And then I can say this 4x times that 1x is that 4x squared. That's all you're doing. Just verifying that your answer is correct. All right, here we go. How do I break down 3y squared?
3y.
Right, let's do that. 3y and y. Factors of 6. Where does the 3 have to go?
On the other side.
3 has to go on the right. 2 on the left. Smiley face. How much is that? And that's? So I can make 7 if the 3 is, and the 2 is? How about that? That's not bad. All right, here we go. Let's have some more fun. All right, so here we go. 2y squared.
2y and y.
2y and y. Now, why is this one easy? Because what's the only factor of 7?
7.
Now, where should I put the 7? On the right or the left? On the left.
Left.
Now, again, I'm trying to get you guys to realize, hey, if you can visualize, that's automatically 14, which would make it too big, right? So that's why you should know it should go here as a 7, over here as a 1. And they both are what? They both have to be positive. I'm pretty happy with that. What?
Couldn't every time there's like a plus and a plus, plus and plus?
It always is that way.
Okay.
I don't teach it that way just because I don't want kids to just, I want you to understand what you're doing. All right? Just like if this is a minus and a plus, it's always going to be minus, minus. And if this is a minus, it's always going to be a plus and a minus. But I don't feel like trying to remember all that. Right? It's just about multiplying numbers. All right, so here we go. 7x squared. Help me out.
7x times x.
7x and x. Beautiful. And then factors of 8.
2 and 4.
Where am I going to put the 4?
On the
You're trying to visualize it.
left.
4 goes on the left,
No, on the right.
and 2 goes on the right. How much is that?
4x.
And that's
14.
not enough.
Oh, I got the
1 and 8.
So it's going to have to be 4 and 2. Does that work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
It's 28.
28 and 2 makes 30 if they're both
Negative.
negative. Come on, that's how easy. All right, number 32 is the hard one because there's 2 ways. All right, let's see if we get it right. How do I break down 2x squared? 2x and x. Okay, now 3. Where does the 3 go? Now look, I'm going to put it in the wrong spot just to make sure I'm showing you. If I put 3 here and 1 here, That'd be 6 and 1. So I'd have to make this negative and that positive. But what's the problem with that?
It's
That would
negative
mean
three.
that's right. So we have to switch it around. Now, hopefully you're paying attention. And if you put the 3 here and the 1 here, now you have 3 and 2, which also makes what?
The five.
Negative 5 if they're both what?
Negative.
If they're both negative. All right. Now again, let's look at 35. So what am I having to do on 35? How do I break 5x squared down? 5x and x. Now, come on. Where does the 2 have to go? Where does the 2 go? On the right, because I'm looking at what? That's 10. If I put a 1 here, that's 11. I need to be negative 11, so they are both what? They're both negative. Everybody happy with that? All right. Last medium one. The 41 and 44 considered the hard ones. All right. So again, the only way to get 2x squared is with what? 2x and x, factors of 15.
5 and 3.
Now where does the 5 go? I think the 5 would go where? On the left. Because that would make 5x. And that would make what? 6. And 5 and 6 can make negative 1 if the 6 is what?
Positive. No, negative.
I want the 6 to be negative and the 5 to be positive. All right? Factors of 6x squared now. Help me. 2x and 3x. Factors of 5. So where does the 5 go? Let's try here and here. I don't know. How much is this? How much is this? So I can make what? Negative 7 if the 10 is and the 3 is. There you go. All right. So what about 6y squared? Middle factors, 2y and factors of 1. 1 and 1. Smiley face, how much is that? How much is that? So they both need to be negative. Any questions? Next one, 7y squared. 7y and y. Factors of 14. Now, where do you think the 7 is going to go if I want 47 on the right side? Because that'll give me what? 49. And then 2 over here. So I want the 7 to be positive and the 2 to be what? Yes. All right. Again, one that's pretty tricky because 8 could be 4 and 2 or 8 and 1. All right, but we're going to go with the middle factors again. So what do I got? And good. The factors of 25. Let's see if that works. How much is this? How much is this? How can I make negative 30? Negative, negative. Come on now, speak up. Let's go. The whole key to all of this is being able to recognize that I'm multiplying these two things together. Does everybody agree with that? That's the whole key. All right. So now let's look at 14. What am I going to do with 14? 7x and 2x, okay? Now, factors of 15. Probably should be, try 3 and 5. You're right, but I'm just saying, I normally start. Now, Chloe might have come up to something. If this number's big, you might want to try the what? The big factors. If the number's smaller, you should try the what? Smaller. But because I said do the inner, I'm going to say stick with what I'm saying and start with the middle factors. All right, so I'm going to do it wrong first. So I'm doing 5 here and 3 here. How much is this, guys?
10.
And this is, can I make 41 with that? No. So now I'm going to move the 5 here and here. Well, what do you know? How much is this? How much is this? 35, which makes what? If they're both, yeah. Come on, guys, we got that. All right. 2 more, here we go. So now, factors of 20. Now this one's considered really hard because 20 could be 1 and 20, 2 and 10, or 4 and 5. Really annoying. All right, so we're going to start with the inner factors. 4x, 5x. What are the middle factors for 15? So where does the 5 have to go? On the left, right? And 3 on the right. How much do I have here? How much is this? Does 25 and 12 make 37? Does 25 and 12 make 37?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if we add them. Everybody agree? So that's a plus, and that's a plus. Peaceful to make myself clear here? I hope I'm making myself clear. All right, last one. All right, let's give it a shot. 2 sets of parentheses here. What do I want to break 10 down to? 5x and 2x. 4. Can I break 4 to 2 and 2? No, so it has to be 4 and 1. Where would the 4 go? On the left, because it can't go with the 2. 1 would have to go on the right. How much is this? How much is this? So I can make 3 if my 8 is
Positive.
my 8 is positive, and my 5 is what? And double check. 8 minus 5 is 3. 5x times 2x is 10x squared. 4 times negative 1 is that negative 4. All right, honestly, I try to tell you, the reason why people don't like it is because there's not just some algorithm, we say, to solve it. It's not necessary to do that. You have to guess and check, all right? You have to be able to multiply and add. And then most of all, you have to be able to double check your work. I know everyone is correct because I always double check it, all right? Your job now is take some time and go down and do 3 through 60 and also 1 through 58. That's your homework, all right? Let's go, get to busy. And also, the first page is supposed to be done. All right, I'm going to give you that till tomorrow. All right, just in case something crazy happens and you were so busy over the last 2 days that you just couldn't do that. Don't tell me you were at a Super Bowl party because I don't believe you.
Super Bowl. You weren't even at Super Bowl party, liar.
He didn't say anything.
Whoa.
Wow. Carter, jumping the gun a little bit.
Yeah.